Starting off our list at number 10 is Nick Cannon and Mariah Carey. They were a random couple from the start if you ask me, but they had a really romantic and sweet relationship for a while. The two of them met back in 2005, although Nick will openly talk about how he had a crush on her ever since he was a kid. I mean, who didn't? They started dating in 2008 and things were moving quickly. So quickly that they got married after only 2 months of dating. Turns out they held a secret little ceremony in the Bahamas. They were married for a few years before having children together in 2011. Their twins named Monroe and Moroccan. They seemed to be a happy little family from the outside looking in, but they went through a nasty divorce in 2014. It was reported at the time that Nick filed for divorce after months of turmoil in the relationship. So what was the turmoil? No one really knows, only that rumors were saying Nick was working too much and he never spent time at home. But of course, Nick has a different side of the story. It all seems to be behind them though, as they co-parent their twins while still moving forward with other relationships. Next up at number 9 is Lamar Odom and Khloe Kardashian. The pair met at the end of August back in 2009 when they described it as instantly hitting it off at a party in Hollywood. Within the first month of meeting each other, they got married on September 27, 2009, which was a complete shock to fans. They were practically still strangers. No wonder they didn't work out. They had a fancy wedding in LA and apparently it was rushed because they wanted to get hitched before basketball season started back for Lamar, who had just signed a $33 million contract with the Lakers at the time. Reports say they were very much in love and Khloe even took on the role as stepmom to his 2 children, Destiny and Lamar Jr. However, their relationship was far from perfect and they were always open about their struggles but also their love for one another. Khloe told People in 2012, "I like to think divorce is not an option." Lamar ended up being involved in cheating rumors and also got a DUI in 2013 where it was reported that he was struggling with a drug and alcohol addiction. These addictions is what led Khloe to officially file for divorce in May of 2016. He later admitted to having multiple affairs, telling Elite Daily, "If there's one thing I regret when I was married, it was having multiple affairs with different women. I wish I could have just kept my in my pants." Well said. No one will ever forget the night that he was actually found overdosed in the brothel after the two of them split. But even after the divorce, Khloe remained by his side as a friend. Sweatbearer number 8 spot is Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Their relationship was talked about from start to finish because the two of them met in 2004 while filming the action movie Mr. and Miss Smith, while Brad was still married to Jennifer Aniston. Rumors were exploding everywhere that there was something going on between Brad and Angelina, and Brad and Jennifer ended up splitting not too long after in 2005. And not too long after that split did Brad and Angelina start dating publicly. Shocker, we knew it the whole time. They were together for years, getting married in 2014 and having 3 biological children together, Shiloh, Vivian, and Knox. They also adopted a son together, Pax, and Brad was a stepdad to Angie's previously adopted kids, Maddox and Zahara. I hope I said all of those names right. They've got a whole soccer team of kids basically. Rumors were always a part of their relationship, which is why it was shocking in 2017 when they split because the rumors ended up being true. They announced their divorce but kept the details private. All we know is that they were having issues in the relationship. Since the split, they have been able to co-parent in a healthy relationship. Angelina told Vanity Fair, I quote, "We care for each other and care about our family, and we are both working towards the same goal." The story has a happy ending, but it still did not make the blow any less painful for us Brangelina fans. Coming to spot number 7 is Brie Larson and Alex Greenwald. They are one of the more quiet couples in Hollywood, meaning that they just stay out of the drama and scandals. They dated for several years before getting engaged back in 2016. Their wedding didn't come quickly though. They've actually been engaged ever since, until more recently when it was announced that they split. Back in January of this year, 2019, it was reported that they called off their engagement. Source came forward saying they have taken a step back from their engagement for the time being, but they remain close. It comes as a complete shock for fans because they seem like the perfect couple. Brie has often bragged about her man being her biggest supporter. She told Entertainment Tonight, I quote, "He's the other half of the equation. How can you explain support? I mean, it goes beyond anything. He's just my person, he's my best friend." There hasn't been any reasons or juicy scandals in regards to why they split, so many fans are left wondering what really happened. In at number 6 is Fergie and Josh Duhamel. They started dating back in 2004 and dated for a few years before getting engaged in 2007. They ended up tying the knot in early 2009 before becoming parents to their son Axel. What seemed like the picture-perfect family ended in September 2017 after they publicly announced their separation. Fans were shocked when they decided to call it quits after 8 years of marriage. They shared a public statement saying, "With absolute love and respect, we decided to separate as a couple earlier this year. To give our family the best opportunity to adjust, we wanted to keep this private matter before sharing it with the public. We are and will always be united in our support of each other and our family." It wasn't until this year in May 2019 that Fergie officially filed for divorce after 2 years of being separated. Fergie's rep had no comment on the divorce, and Josh's rep did not respond to their request for comment. Halfway through the list, number 5 is Skylar, Astin, and Anna Camp. This one makes me sad. I love them together. You would really only know who they are if you were a fan of the Pitch Perfect movie series because they starred together in it. The co-stars started dating in June 2013 and they got hitched in October 2016 at a beautiful outdoor ceremony on the Central California coast. Their split was a complete shock for people because they seemed to just have this unbreakable bond. Anna spoke about him to People magazine saying, "Knowing that I have my best friend and that we are totally committed to one another, and just to have that comfort and that safety and that bond where you know you found your person." Ugh, my heart. But after 2.5 years of marriage, in April of this year, 2019, they released a joint statement saying, "We can confirm that we have decided to separate, and this decision was made mutually and amicably. We kindly ask for privacy as we navigate this transition." They have both since unfollowed each other on social media. Up next at number 4 is Bella Hadid and The Weeknd. They first got together back in 2015 after they spent a weekend together at Coachella. Must have been a nice romantic getaway because they continued to date for over a year. From the outside looking in, they were a strong couple in Hollywood. People were surprised when reports started to surface saying they split in November 2016. The reasoning for the split was said to be because of their schedules and that they were both focusing on their work. May we never forget that iconic moment 2 weeks after their breakup when Bella walked the Victoria's Secret fashion show and he was the onstage performer. That is one way to run into your ex. Or should I say runway into your ex. Get it? Anyways, then in January of 2017, we saw pictures of The Weeknd with Selena Gomez making out, and shortly later it was confirmed that they were then dating. From that moment on, Bella started shooting the middle finger to media outlets that asked her about the new couple, but the whole angry phase didn't last very long and they got back together once he and Selena split. But once again, as of a few weeks ago, they split up again. It's just getting hard to keep up with them. The first breakup was shocking, but like now people are just used to it. Alright you guys, at number 3 we have Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber. What a whirlwind this relationship was, aka a show. Their relationship was exciting for a while, but then it got really hard to follow. Rumors began back in 2010 that they were dating, but it wasn't until January 2011 that the pop stars confirmed their romance. That's when the iconic hashtag Jelena all began and trended on Twitter like it was nobody's business. Their first breakup happened in November 2012 after rumors started that he was involved with Victoria's Secret model Barbara Palvin, who later on confirmed that there was nothing going on. 3 months later, in January 2013, they were back together. We thought maybe this time was going to be the successful round, but then in November 2014, she performed her song The Heart Wants What It Wants at the American Music Awards and she started crying on stage. She later confirmed the song was about Biebs and that they were split up again. After that, both the singers began to date other people and move on from each other. Or so we thought. Later in November 2016, it was reported that Justin visited her in rehab, so people thought maybe they were back on, but it was confirmed in January 2017, just a few months later, when Selena began dating The Weeknd. Later on, in October 2017, they were spotted hanging out at Selena's home with friends and also went to church together. And once again, pictures of them kissing surfaced in November 2017, and they are back on again. But that lasted until March 2018, when they broke up again. For good this time. Honestly, they could be in the first place on this list just for putting us through all of that back and forth trauma. In spot number 2 is Kris Jenner and Bruce Jenner. Now, this is not to disrespect Kaitlynn in any way. I only say Bruce because at the time of their split, she was still Bruce, so I'm speaking the past tense on their past relationship, no disrespect. The two of them were married for 23 years and had 2 children together. You might know of them, Kendall and Kylie Jenner, you might have heard of them before. People watched years of the relationship on their family reality show Keeping Up with the Kardashians, which is why it was a total bomb when they announced their separation in October 2013. They put out a joint statement to E! News saying, "We are living separately and we are much happier this way, but we will always have much love and respect for each other. Even though we are separated, we will always remain best friends, and as always, our family will remain our #1 priority." But even though they were separated, that did not stop Kris from posting an adorable anniversary shout out in April 2014 saying, "Happy anniversary to one of the most amazing men I know. I love you. Wow, 23 years. Their divorce was finalized later that year in December, and after Bruce came out as Kaitlynn in 2015, she had nothing but positive things to say about Kris. She told Diane Sawyer, "Kris is a really good woman and I love her to death. The love and acceptance I have gotten from Kris is absolutely overwhelming." Their split and the following aftermath took the world by storm, but the two of them were able to make it out as friends. Taking our number 1 spot is Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth. This one is fresh off the press. At the time of this recording, this dramatic and shocking split happened just this past weekend. It's Tuesday. It all started back in 2008 and 2009 when they met each other on the set for the movie adaptation of Nicholas Sparks' novel called The Last Song. They became an official couple while shooting the movie and continued to date from there. In June 2012, they confirmed their engagement, Miley being 19 at the time and Liam being 22. In 2013, they officially broke up and called off the wedding. Miley says that she realized how young 19 was and is in a happy place after the breakup settled. But fans were absolutely devastated. Me. From there, Miley goes on to date other people, both males and females, and does a lot of questionable things in the process. But we don't have time to talk about all of that. But 3 years later, in 2016, they are spotted together again, and she is wearing her engagement ring again. They both agreed the time apart was needed and they were excited to be back together. As were we. I personally never thought it would happen after all the crazy behavior she was thrown out there for those few years. The two of them finally got married in December 2018 at a private ceremony in her home in Nashville. The pictures had everyone crying tears of joy, and it seemed like this was going to be a happily ever after. But then this weekend came. Their reps released a statement saying that the two of them have decided to separate after only 8 months of marriage. On top of that, pictures were leaked online just a week after their split of Miley making out and getting cozy with Brody Jenner's ex-wife, Caitlyn Carter, which obviously caused a whole bunch of chaos. We're still kind of waiting to see how this whole thing plays out.
At number 10, Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt. Before Brangelina took over Hollywood, Bennifer was a thing. Actually, I don't know if they had a ship name, but if not, I just made one. You're welcome. Jennifer and Brad's romance story started in the 90s, meeting for the first time in 94, but going on their first date in 98. After 2 years of dating, the wedding of the year took place in 2000 on a bluff in Malibu because nothing says romance and everlasting love like standing on a cliff. Things were okay until Angelina came into the picture after she and Brad met while working on Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Fast forward to 2005 and Bennifer was no more. They filed for divorce, making room for Brangelina. It was a whirlwind breakup because of the cheating scandals, as Angie became the other woman of sorts, and even as things died down over the years, tabloids would bring this drama up from time to time, almost making it seem as though things aren't exactly over for this unfortunate love triangle. It seems as though Brad and Jen have reunited in 2020 as they are both now single, but I don't know if you can really call it a comeback from that heavily publicized breakup. At number 9, Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson. 2013 was a rough time for Twilight fans. Not only were they still heartbroken and mourning the death of their beloved vampiric saga, but they were also mourning the death of their OTPs, Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson. Since the beginning of the Twilight franchise, fans were obsessed with Kristen and Rob's relationship, wishing that they would take their on-screen love into the real world. For years, the actors had shut down rumors that they were dating until 2011 when they finally confirmed that they were together. Fans were ecstatic and soon came speculations that a proposal was soon to come, but unfortunately that moment never came. In 2013, while working on the film Snow White and the Huntsman, Kristen was caught cheating on Rob with the film's director, Rupert Sanders. Paparazzi had speculated that something was going on between them for a while, and so they finally got confirmations of this affair when the two were caught getting cozy together. When news of this scandal broke, it got crazy, and soon we saw statements from Rupert's wife, as well as news that Robert and Kristen had broken up officially. This ended with Kristen being labeled a homewrecker, and a lot of people still hate her for it. Rob's heartbreak was heavily publicized, and most people took his side, but really, I think their whole relationship was just a publicity stunt, and they needed a wild way to end it. But what do you guys think? Now before I continue on with the video, please consider leaving a like on this video and check out my gaming channel Viper Girl if you are looking for some more fun content as well. At number 8, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. By now, everyone and their mothers know about Johnny and Amber. Their relationship was highly publicized last year following their trial, but their initial breakup was also a messy ordeal, even though it happened nearly 5 years ago. Johnny and Amber first filed for divorce in 2016, but was finally finalized in 2017. Their divorce proceedings were quite the scandal, scandal as Amber made the accusation that Johnny had been abusive towards her, though now we all know that that was a big ol' ball of BS. In their divorce settlement, Amber was awarded $7 million to be paid by Johnny, and Amber claimed that she would be donating the money to 2 charities, which also turned out to be a lie. And they went their separate ways as Johnny kept their properties and cars. The biggest story to come out of this breakup was the bombshell of Johnny's treatment of his wife. Johnny lost a lot of work because of her claims, and his name was pretty much ruined because of it. Fast forward to 2020 and the drama continues, making this one of the messiest breakups ever.
And at number 7 is Mac Miller and Ariana Grande. Before his sudden and tragic death in September 2018, the two of them were very much in love and broke the hearts of fans when they announced their split. They built a strong friendship before going public with their relationship in September 2016. They shared a love for music, and because of their friendship, their bond was something that no one could ever question. They were adorable. It was just so obvious how in love they really were, which is why it was shocking when they called it quits after almost 2 years of dating. It was no secret that Mac struggled with a drug addiction, to which Ariana admits feeling helpless towards. Mac was also her rock as she recovered emotionally after the suicide bombing occurred at her show in Manchester. But even after they broke up, they did remain on good terms. They were friends who always had nice things to say about each other, and Ariana continued to encourage him to seek help for his addiction. She posted on Instagram saying, "Unconditional love is not selfish. It is wanting the best for that person, even if at the moment it's not you. I can't wait to know and support you forever, and I'm so proud of you." Fans were happy to know that the two of them were still giving each other love up until his final moments. Next up at number 6 is Chris Pratt and Anna Faris. Some would say this was one of the most heartbreaking celebrity breakups in recent memory. The two actors first met on the set of the film Take Me Home Tonight back in 2007, but Anna was married to another actor at the time. That didn't stop Chris from admiring her though, later admitting that he knew she was the one since the day that he met her. Anna and her husband at the time, Ben Indra, split later that year, and not long after, she started to date Chris. It was a long time coming, I guess. Anna and Chris fell in love quickly and got engaged in 2008 and then married a year later in 2009. They were married for a few years before having their first child together in 2012, their son named Jack. They were hashtag family goals for years, and they seemed wildly devoted to each other, which is why they stunned the world when they announced their separation in 2017. After 8 years of what looked like happy marriage, they posted a public statement online saying, "Anna and I are sad to announce we are legally separating. We tried hard for a long time and we're really disappointed. Our son has 2 parents who love him very much, and for his sake we want to keep this situation as private as possible moving forward. We still have love for each other, we'll always cherish our time together, and continue to have the deepest respect for one another." No official reason was ever given for the split, but they are still co-parenting and on good terms. Halfway through the list at number 5 is Kristen Stewart and Rob Pattinson. Twilight fans were losing their minds when the two of them fell in love off screen and started dating in real life. For years they toyed with the idea of dating and even had their fans fooled a few times as they did fake kissing skits on stage while accepting their Best Kiss awards. Their relationship wasn't confirmed or made public until 2011, but we were all confident about the fact that they've been having a thing for a long time now. She was dating Robert for a while before she began filming Snow White and the Huntsman that exact same year. During the filming of this movie is where she met the director Rupert Sanders. The two of them started filming together in August 2011, and just shy of a year later in 2012, they were having steamy makeout sessions all around LA. Not only was Kristen in a relationship, Sanders was also married and has 2 children with his then wife, Liberty Ross. It was on July 17th of 2012 when the two of them met up and drove around trying to find secluded places in LA. Paparazzi got the best of them and captured their entire makeout session in a series of photos. On July 24th, Us Weekly released the exclusive set of pictures of their makeout session, which left fans feeling completely devastated and shocked. Both relationships crumbled, and fans were not shy when it came to letting the actress know what they felt about her actions. Here we are at number 4 with Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens. If you are a fan of High School Musical, then you are probably mildly obsessed with these two as individuals and as a couple. They rocked our Disney World when they became a couple off screen after meeting for the first time in 2005 when they booked their leading roles as Troy Bolton and Gabriella Montez. They were just teenagers when they met on set, and it didn't take long for them to become an official couple. For a while, it seemed like they were going to be our high school sweetheart inspirations, but the two of them split in 2010 after going strong for 5 years. No reason was ever really confirmed until later in 2015 when Vanessa opened up about her relationship with Zac during an interview with the New York Times. She said the relationship ended up making her really mean and would cause her to lash out. She admitted that Zac wasn't the issue, but it was the obsessed fan base that he had, aka all the girls, like me. She said, "I went through a phase when I was really mean because I was so fed up. Girls were running after him and I was giving them death stares. Then I realized that's not what that's about. Spread the love, be a good person, they support you, be nice." The relationship didn't last, but there is no bad blood. She's happy in a new relationship and says that her and Zach just simply no longer speak, which is heartbreaking.
At number 2, Pete Davidson and Ariana Grande. Ariana and Pete's relationship took people by surprise. It was short and intense, and the breakup was messy too. The two started dating in May of 2018, and by late June, they were engaged. They fell for each other so quickly, moving in together and planning their lives together as well. But things ended as quickly as they began, and by October, they were done. After getting tattoos dedicated to each other, they were quickly covered up, and soon the shade began. Shortly after the news of their breakup was broadcast, Pete poked fun at his failed relationship in a comedy set, and Ariana then moved on to subtweeting her ex for shading her. And she even included a reference to their relationship in her song Thank You Next. There was some back and forth shading and dissing each other in more jokes and music, but that all seems to be over now. Ariana is now engaged to someone else, and everyone seems to be moving on now.
Starting off our list, number 10 is Katie Holmes and Jamie Foxx. This one is still pretty fresh, so if you're a fan, then it probably stings a little bit for you still. They dated for 6 years and recently called it quits before summer in May 2019. There have been a variety of different stories and versions as to why they actually broke up, but a close source to them told Entertainment Tonight, I quote, "They lived separately and in different cities and saw each other occasionally. They just both got caught up with their own families, careers, and obligations that the relationship had to take a back seat." But not long after the breakup, the pot was stirred after images surfaced of Fox partying up with some other woman. It all started when he was spotted leaving a nightclub hand in hand with Celavave. Katie has not commented on it, but Jamie took it to social media and did a live stream video where he stuck up for himself, saying that because they are no longer together, he can do what he wants. It was then made into a permanent post on Instagram with the caption, "For the people who care, here is the true story. For everyone else, you can keep talking and calling me a whore, slut, homewrecker, thought, gold digger, and that I should die, and whatever else you want. Because it doesn't matter to me, I am out here to work and do what I love most. Hashtag kill the double standard." This is some seriously hot tea. That was just last week, so I have no further updates for you guys. Not yet anyways. At number 9 is Gigi Hadid and Zayn Malik. Fans were speculating for months whether these two were dating or not until they confirmed it back in January 2016, but they didn't just casually say they were dating. They confirmed their relationship when Zayn dropped his music video for his single Pillow Talk and had Gigi getting all hot and heavy with him throughout it. After the video dropped, they then went on Twitter and publicly gushed about how the other one looked so hot in the video. But then they shattered the hearts of all their fans when they broke up 2 years later. They announced these long, heartfelt statements in March 2018 expressing that they still love and respect each other but as friends. However, since then, they've kind of been all over the place. They got back together, broke up, and then got back together again. However, just a few weeks ago, it was reported that they broke up once again after Gigi was spotted spending alone time with Bachelorette's alum Tyler Cameron. So this breakup wasn't really as shocking as the first time around. Sweeping our number 8 spot is Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson. The couple made headlines on multiple occasions for reasons that no couple actually wants to. They started dating back in 2016, and only 1 year later it was announced that they were expecting a child together. They seemed to have a fairy tale relationship, but then just a few days before Khloe's due date, Tristan was caught cheating on camera with a girl at a bar in Manhattan. Days before she was going into labor. That news alone would probably make me go into immediate labor. Despite the heat and backlash he faced for cheating, Khloe decided to stay with him and work things out. Things seemed to be going better for the pair until once again, hit the fan. Worse this time. Another cheating scandal surfaced of Tristan with another girl, but not just any girl, Kylie Jenner's best friend, Jordyn Woods. For those who may not know, Kylie Jenner is Khloe's younger sister, so Jordyn was basically a little sister to Khloe and hooking up with her baby daddy. Messed up. Just a few days ago, it was reported that he bought her a $400,000 Porsche as an attempt to win her back. I wish my exes would buy me a Porsche as a way to apologize.
At number 7, Taylor Swift and Calvin Harris. Now obviously we couldn't make a list talking about the messiest breakups without including Taylor Swift. I mean, she's built her entire career on breakup songs, and you obviously can't have the breakup song without the breakup. Arguably one of Taylor's messiest breakups was with DJ Calvin Harris, and though it didn't end up with a lot of upfront hostility, there was a lot of shade, a lot of jealousy, and a lot of drama. After a brief relationship, Taylor and Calvin broke up in 2016, and when news broke of their split, it was speculated that they broke up because their spark had fizzled out and that things just weren't working out for them. No hostility and no drama, they just fell out of love. Things were fine until Taylor went public with her new relationship with Marvel actor Tom Hiddleston a little over 2 weeks after breaking up with Calvin. This started to stir drama because some fans as well as some news sources believed that Taylor was only dating Tom to make Calvin jealous. Tom and Taylor were seen traveling together and meeting Taylor's parents. Meanwhile, Calvin was being bombarded by paparazzi asking about his take on this new relationship. Things escalated into the music world as reports came out involving Rihanna into Taylor and Calvin's relationship troubles, and Calvin even alleged that Taylor was still texting him weeks after they were over. This breakup was unnecessarily messy, but it made for some good music content for Taylor. At number 6, Zayn Malik and Perrie Edwards. Another complicated relationship here, this time with former One Direction member Zayn Malik and Little Mix member Perrie Edwards. After meeting in 2011, dating in 2012, and getting engaged in 2013, Zayn and Perrie's perfect world came crumbling down in 2015 after a dramatic and messy public breakup. When news broke of their split, fans just had to know why. These two were loved by so many fans, and for them to suddenly call it quits, people wanted to know what was going on. It was alleged that Zayn broke up with Perrie over text, but I don't know if that was really true or not. About a week after initial reports of their split, fans learned that the couple's home was put on the market, and that apparently Zayn had asked Perrie to move out of their house shortly after their breakup. Perrie was having a hard time with the sudden split, even breaking down in tears on stage at one of her girl group's concerts. Meanwhile, news outlets were reporting on Zayn's parties at his Bel Air mansion. The media as well as fans were divided in choosing sides. Perrie was being shown as the blindsided and broken one, while Zayn was being seen as aloof and cold. Not too long after the breakup, Zayn was seen hanging around model Gigi Hadid, and it was thought that Zayn had left Perrie for Gigi. Eventually, things sort of died down between Perrie and Zayn, with the two subtly shading each other every once in a while. At number 5, Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth. Miley and Liam's relationship was certainly complicated. They were on and off for 10 years before ending things in 2019, and even then, their divorce was messy. Miley and Liam got married in December 2018, but after 8 months of marriage, they confirmed their split and filed for divorce. What made things messy was Miley's unexpected and sudden relationship with Kaitlynn Carter. Miley and Kaitlynn took a trip together after their respective relationships had ended and entered into a new romantic relationship with each other. A lot of people speculated that Miley had cheated on Liam with Kaitlynn and that it was the reason why she left him, but Miley denied those allegations. Liam and Kaitlynn's ex Brody Jenner were seen shading their exes for moving on like this, but eventually things cooled off. Miley and Liam's divorce was finalized in January 2020, and apparently it was a very hard time for Miley, as she referred to the divorce as death because it was so big and so public.
Alright guys, at number 3 is Bradley Cooper and Irina Shayk. After months of tabloid speculation, their 4-year relationship was confirmed to be at a dead end. A source told E! News they want to stay together for their daughter, but neither of them are very happy. Rumors were getting out of control as to why they split. Many fans were saying Bradley had an affair with his A Star Is Born co-star, Lady Gaga. But there has been no evidence to back up this claim, and every party involved, including Irina, deny the rumor. The two of them are now co-parenting their 2-year-old daughter, but still have no comments regarding their split. Unfortunately, this leaves a lot of room for speculation. In spot number 2 is Brody Jenner and Caitlyn Carter. After pictures surfaced of Miley Cyrus making out with Caitlyn Carter after her split from Liam Hemsworth, people started to focus on Caitlyn's relationship with Brody. They first met at a party back in 2013, and they soon began dating. On May 4th, 2016, they announced their engagement, which lasted 2 years before getting married on June 2nd, 2018. They ended up getting married in Indonesia at the same resort they got engaged at. Always peaches and cream it seemed like, but they called it quits in early August of 2019, just weeks before Kaitlynn was in Italy kissing Miley. But the MTV show that Brody stars on, The Hills, is airing right now and revealed that the couple was struggling for a while. In the episodes, we can see that the couple actually has a open relationship, and the other cast members are basically questioning Kaitlynn if their marriage is going to work. Their co-star Ashley Waller spilled the tea on their relationship and said, "I've had a lot of conversations with Kaitlynn during the season, and her and Miley and Liam and Brody would always hang out together. So I know they've been friends for a long time. I think everyone in the cast knew that it was not going to work out. I mean, an open relationship, marriage, not gonna work."